viewers at home and from every nook and crannies around the globe where you're watching from. This is your darling channel, BGI TV Current. Today is the 8th day in the month of June 2023. As you know, we always come with the newspaper headlines today. My name is Morire Rabila Lawal, and usually I'm with the Vanguard and the Punch newspaper.
It's a lovely morning as I welcome all our viewers around the globe to today's paper headline. My name remains Ige Olalekan. With me I have The Nation, Nigerian Tribune and the Vanguard.
On my first take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning, from the president himself, we must work for Nigerians again. Tinubu charges governors.
And from The Nation newspaper, 75 senators elect backing Akpabio, says Ndume.
And to the next story from here, from the education part, JAMB rolls out modalities for absorption of the exams returning students.
And from the Nigerian Tribune, how Tinubu escapes poisonous knife, Shehu Sani opens up.
And to the Punch newspaper this morning, the first rider, subsidy, Tinubu asks Shetima governors to work on salaries palliatives.
Going through the Vanguard newspaper, unpaid gratuities, pension, salaries chokes states.
NNPCL to cut fuel import from August.
And according to Nigerian Tribune, it's time for citizens to work collectively for better future. And that is according to Niger State Governor Bako.
And I'm starting straight up with the Punch newspaper, and the first rider is coming from fuel subsidy. As Nigerians grapple with the aftershocks of the fuel subsidy removal, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the National Economic Council to meet up with input on palliatives and a minimum wage review as part of measures to cushion the pain of subsidy removal. This was as the Trade Union Congress said it was expecting the federal government to provide feedback on its demand for 200,000 naira minimum wage by June 19. But speaking during a meeting with members of the Nigeria Governors Forum led by its chairman, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State in Abuja on Wednesday, Tinubu directed NEC led by Vice President Kashim Shettima to mobilize various interventions to cushion the hardship faced by most vulnerable Nigerians. The rider again, subsidy, Tinubu asks Shettima governors to work on salaries palliative.
And from the Nation newspaper this morning, 75 senators elect backing Akpabio, says Ndume. Not fewer than 75 senators elect are backing Senator Godswill Akpabio for Senate President ahead of the next week's inauguration of the 10th National Assembly. Senator Ali Ndume said last night. Ndume, who was re-elected from Borno State, said Akpabio, who enjoys the endorsement of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the ruling All Progressive Congress, will succeed Senate President Ahmad Lawan ahead of the election of the National Assembly presiding officer on June 13. As aspirants from the Senate President are intensifying their consultation and mobilization, the valedictory section in the Senate has been shifted to Saturday, and according to the rider, 75 senators elect backing Akpabio, says Ndume.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Company has confirmed that once the Dangote refinery starts pumping out refined petroleum products from late July or early August, the NNPCL will cut down on its imports of premium motor spirits, popularly called petrol. NNPCL is currently the sole importer of petrol into Nigeria, a tax which it had shown that for several years. Other oil marketers stopped importing petrol due to their inability to access the United States dollar at the official rate. NNPCL also owned 20% stake in the Dangote refinery. The 650,000 barrels per day crude oil processing refinery was inaugurated on May 22, 2023 by former President Muhammad Buhari, who described the facility as a game changer. And with the rider NNPCL to cut fuel import from August on the Punch newspaper.
And from the Nigerian Tribune, how Tinubu escaped poisonous knife, Shehu Sani opens. Former Kaduna Central Senator Shehu Sani has reviewed how President Bola Ahmed Tinubu escaped a poisonous knife following his recent appointment. Sani, who took to his Twitter handle Wednesday, claimed Tinubu dogged a poisonous knife through his appointment of the secretary to the state government and chief of staff. Recall, Tinubu appointed former Interior Minister George Akume as the new SGF, while appointing Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila as a COS. However, Sonny said Tinubu would have caused discord between him and Vice President Kasim Shettima if he had appointed who he described as Mr. Over Sabi, leaving his followers in suspense. If Tinubu had appointed Mr. Over Sabi as FGF or Chief of Staff, he would have sworn the seed of discord between the President and the Vice President. Speak and move around as more important than the two. Tinubu had dogged a poisonous knife, Shehu Sonny tweeted, according to Nigerian Tribune. How Tinubu escaped poisonous knife, Shehu Sonny opens up.
No fewer than 40 suspects were on Wednesday paraded by the Ogun State Police Command for various crimes such as cultism, murder, and armed robbery. The State Commissioner of Police, Olariwaju Oladimeji, who paraded the suspect before journalists at the Police Command headquarters in Abeokuta, the state capital, said they were apprehended both within and outside the state. Oladimeji said Michael, Bob, Abdul Omotoyosi, and Additional Idris were arrested for conspiracy, armed robbery, and stealing. He said the suspects were arrested in Mushin, Lagos State, while a stolen Toyota car was recovered during the operation. And the rider is from the Punch newspaper. Ogun police parade 40 suspected cultists. Others.
And going through the Nigerian Tribune once again, it's time for citizens to work collectively for better future. And that is according to Niger State Governor Bako. Governor Muhammad Umar Bako of Niger State has said the time has come for him and residents of the state in general to walk the extra mile to collectively build a better future. The governor stated this in a press statement issued and made available to journalists on Tuesday in Minna by his Chief Press Secretary Alhaji Bologi Ibrahim. The statement stated further that the governor said this when he received a delegation of former National Assembly Member Forum under the auspices of the People Democratic Party from the state who were on congratulatory visits at the Niger State License Lodge at Asokoro in Abuja. And according to the rider, it's time for citizens to work collectively for better future.
And going straight to the Vanguard newspaper this morning, no fewer than 34 outgoing, returning, and sitting governors are leaving a huge burden of unpaid gratuities, while 27 of them are being choked by unpaid multi-billion pension arrears. Similarly, 13 states are burdened with a backlog of salary arrears and other unpaid benefits to their employees. Investigations revealed that 4 states in the southeast, 4 in the southwest, and 5 northern states owe workers' salaries. On pensions, 5 states in the southwest, 5 in the southeast, 15 in the north, and 2 in the south-south owe the retirees a backlog of accumulated pensions. The rider is that unpaid gratuities, pensions, salaries choke states.
Going through the Nation newspaper, President to governors, it's time for governance. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday asked state governors to work with him to unite the country and reshape the economy. He told them that politics is gone. It is time for real business. He laid the cards on the table and got the endorsement of the Nigerian Governors Forum to remove the petrol subsidy. But the governors also have pushed the palliative to cushion the effect of subsidy removal. The president spoke during his maiden meeting with governors, the main bloc in the National Economic Council, which is chaired by the vice president. After yesterday's meeting, there was no statement from the presidency. The governor also did not speak with reporters. However, a top source at the meeting, the larger interest of Nigerian-dominated discussion, the source said the president unfolded his pan-Nigerian agenda. He declared that politics is over. It is time to dream, think, and work for Nigeria. He said he will work with governors irrespective of the party affiliation and partisanship. He pleaded for our understanding and cooperation. All he sought for was a united and a prosperous Nigeria. And that is according to the Nation newspaper. President to governors, it's time for governance.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Wednesday again charged the Nigerian governors on the need to work for the people of Nigeria. The president stated this when he hosted members of the Nigerian Governors Forum (NGF), led by its chairman Abdurrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State at the State House in Abuja. Reports have it that the governors expressed happiness with the president's subsidy removal decision, all-inclusive leadership and statesmanship. They congratulated Tinubu for tackling the fuel subsidy debacle, promising to work with him to ameliorate the short-term impact of the decision. Tinubu had earlier called on the governors to collaborate with the federal government in addressing the menace of poverty in the country, saying the level of impoverishment is unacceptable. The president advised the political leaders to downplay their differences and jointly focus on alleviating the sufferings and pains of the people in the country. The writer again, we must work for Nigerians again. Tinubu charges governors.
Going through the Vanguard, unpaid gratuities, pensions, salaries choke states. Not fewer than 34 outgoing, returning and sitting governors are leaving a huge burden of unpaid gratuity, while 27 of them are being choked by unpaid multi-billion pension arrears. Similarly, 13 states are burdened with a blockload of salaries arrears and other unpaid benefits to their employees. Investigation by Vanguard revealed that 4 states in the southeast, 4 in the southwest, and 5 northern states owe workers' salaries. On pension, 5 states in the southwest, 5 in the southeast, 15 in the north, and 2 in the south-south owe their retirees a backlog of accumulation pension. In the same vein, only about 3 states nationwide are believed not to owe gratuity to their pension, and that is according to the Vanguard. Unpaid gratuity, pension, salaries choke states.
From what President Bola Tinubu said yesterday, charging the governors to knowing the need to work for the people of Nigeria, I think is a good step, and definitely it's going to bring a succor and relief to stopping the already causes putting Nigerians to be vulnerable in their own country and putting stress, pressure, unforeseen one without any common remedy and taking off poverty away. And I pray that the governors re-elected and those that are just coming in to join the moving train of the new presidency in the country would yield fruition and make sure that Nigeria becomes a place where we can have security, architecture working, and also security of life and property. So what do you take about the president charging all governors to work and make things beautiful for Nigerians again?
Well, thank you, Moriri. I think I also agree with what you said, because one of the things that triggered me most was that, the presidency said something yesterday. He said he doesn't look at the party affiliation, that is ready to work with everyone, and that is to show you that inclusive government is very important in this particular regime. And I think if they can cooperate and work alongside with him, it's going to help to build a new Nigeria for us as a whole.
All right, let's go to the next story, which I want us to just hint about. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board (JAMB) has rolled out modalities for the absorption of returning students from war-torn countries into Nigerian universities. This is disclosed in a statement by the board's head, Public Affairs and Protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, and made available to newsmen in Abuja on Wednesday. This decision is a good one from JAMB, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, and they are saying that they want to welcome all Nigerians, that Nigerian students who are returning from other countries, from war-torn countries, into Nigerian universities. It's a good stake, but for me, I see something different from that part, in the sense that if Nigerian education system was working fine, we wouldn't have most of these students going out to countries like India, Chad, Niger,
Sudan
to go for university education. And you're saying you're welcoming them back into the country. I see no reason why we'll still lag behind when it comes to world ranking. according to university level in the whole world and even within Africa, and you're saying you're ready to welcome back these people. Where are the provisions? That's number one. Then number two, JAM has been doing something like you posting a student from Abuja to Abeokuta, from Abeokuta to places like or your states, you know. Now, if you say you want to do all of these things, like posting of students, similar to what NYC is doing, but there is already a provision by the NYC. Like now, there are camps around the countries that takes all of these graduates from various universities and polytechnic college of educations together. There's a provision, there's a standing provision long years ago, and it was celebrated. I think they celebrated 50 years anniversary few months back. What is JAM doing concerning the security of life and property of the students who are not even familiar to the community you're posting them to? Number two, do they even have knowledge about the people they're going to meet over there? JAM only have understanding and knowledge about their own staff and personnel. What about these students? Where are the familiarities? Where are the training? And there's one thing about Nigeria, that whenever we find anything new from another developed country that knows what they are doing,
Exactly.
we tend to copy, not minding any unforeseen attacks or injuries that could come up. What's your take about that, Ige?
Well, thank you, Morire. First thing I want us to understand is, if you look at, if we go back the memory lane, the reason why they had been able to come up with a projection that NYSC should spread the corps across the country, I think it started after the civil war in Nigeria. So when Gowon came up, he actually tried to bring up the scheme in order to unify Nigerians together. That is a unifying factors after the civil war, whereby the various regions see themselves as different entity. So he felt if we can do it that way, as in sending students from this particular region to the other region to serve and things like that, it's going to bring back a unity and cooperation among the people. And just like what you said, those that are writing JAM, I think JAM should have looked at it from a different perspective. Those children are not really matured enough. They are just about going into the higher institution, and as they are writing the exam, they should have allowed them to stay back in their various area. Maybe if they now feel like, okay, they want to, after the exam, they are writing exam to go and study. Maybe somebody from Sokoto is interested in studying University of Ibadan. I think that would be okay. But as at, when they just graduated from their secondary school and things like that, and they wanted to write JAM, it's a very challenging thing. And apart from that, just like what you said, they need to look at the dangers in those areas, because I could recall there was a time a fatal accident happened along Ibadan Expressway, and some of the students that were going for the JAM or post JAM or things like, they got burnt along the way because there was this few gas plants that fell on the road, and before you know it, it was so disastrous. So I think JAM should rethink about taking such steps. Then in the area of welcoming students from war country back into the Nigerian university, I think it's a welcome development. It's to me, I think it is high time for the various university commission and other stakeholders in the education ministry to step up their game and to make sure that Nigerian university also can be able to work side by side with their counterparts across the globe.
All right. The next story I just found here is coming from Shun State.
Okay.
Coming from the former governor of Shun State, Rauf Aregbesola, also ex-minister of Interior. Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola has blamed the devil for the misunderstanding between himself and his successor, Adegbo Yegari during the latter's administration. Aregbesola spoke in Yoruba language during the welcome rally organized by his loyalists to welcome him back to the state at Freedom Park. Osogbo said the devil successfully allowed animosity to thrive between them after the Supreme Court victory party in July 2019. The former minister had attributed his political successes to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who identified him and supported his political aspirations since 1999 from Lagos State. Now, my take is this. After the whole fighting, disorderliness, the pride, the zeal for power, the differences, and to mention a few, seeking forgiveness. These are people that they have their loyalists separately, and they pitch on under the same tent as politicians under APC or Progressive Congress. And here he comes after his appointment, finishing his appointment as the Minister of Interior at the last administration under Buhari. What's your view?
Well, if you look at the case of Aregbesola, let's go back a little bit to down memory lane. You know, I would say that he was able to build his political career through the help of the current president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because if we are not mistaken, as of 1999, Aregbesola was the Commissioner for Works in Lagos State, while Tinubu was the Governor of Lagos State then. And you know, he really did very well as at that point in time. But one of the things that I feel is, you know, when you know, they used to say that in politics, no permanent friends and no permanent enemy. You know, along the line, there might be issues, there might be misunderstanding, there might be discord and things like that. But no matter what the case may be, along the line, they might still decide to reunite, you know, based on the fact that politics involves cross-carpeting, jumpologies, and the rest of it. But my own take is just that no matter what they do in their various, from their various view, they should always tend to make sure that they implement policies that will make a positive impact in the life of Nigerians. Although this time around that he was trying to, you know, apologize for the various steps and wrongs that he did, and he's trying to correct all his mistakes. And well, to me, I think Oyetola to himself was the one that took over from Aregbesola himself as the governor of Shun State. So I believe there might be one or two things between them that led to this misunderstanding, and it is high time they need to sort things out. And if you don't forget, also remember that President Muhammadu Buhari also came out one time like that to apologize to Nigerians that he knew that he had made some silly mistake and things like that. But I don't think it is high time they should stop this rubbish, because I see it as nonsense. When they were there, they are there by the people's votes, and they are supposed to do the right thing that will make impact in the life of the people. But when they left and they are now trying to apologize, and you know, but although they used to say that two wrongs can never make it right, so I think it is okay.
The appointment of George Akume,
Okay.
by the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Akume used to be an ex-governor to Benue State.
Exactly.
And he used to be a minister under, I think he was having a post.
Minister of Interior.
No. He was having a post under Buhari's tenure.
Okay.
For the last period Buhari was the president. I can't really remember the portfolio right now. But my take is this. For Bola Ahmed Tinubu to bring in George Akume as the Secretary General to the Federation, is this not the same recycling method by Nigerian politicians? Because the immediate past SGF, Boss Mustafa,
Okay.
we have history of him, but his own topic is not for today. So I just want to ask this straight question. Why do we keep having recycling of politicians in Nigeria? What's your take about that?
Thank you, Moriri. Well, if you look at that, just like you just said in the area of recycling and things like that, well, I believe that a lot of Nigerians had a lot of great expectation from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And for him to have appointed George Akume as the secretary to the federal government, he knows why he has done that. He's best in position to give a response to that. But the truth of the matter is, I believe if Akume does not really have the capacity to have been able to discharge in that area, I don't think President Bola Ahmed would have gone for him. And apart from that, if you look at the antecedents of Bola Tinubu himself, he's just, maybe Yoruba will say you get the point. So let's just give him some time, because I believe that he has the chain of those technocrats that he can bring up for those positions, and I think we should just give him more time.
All right, I'm going to sports story straight for our sport fans all over. Sorry, bro.
Thank you.
It's coming from the sport angle. Sorry.
Thank
Jarrod Bowen struck at the death as West Ham United beat Fiorentina 2-1 on Wednesday to end a 43-year trophy drought with the Europa Conference League title. Said Ben Rahman had opened the scoring for West Ham with a 62nd minute penalty kick in Prague's Eden Arena. This was after Fiorentina captain Cristiano Biraghi was ruled to have handled the ball upon review in a duel with sorry.
Yes, thank you.
Fiorentina were level 5 minutes later from Giacomo Bonaventura's strike. It's coming on a very one that, yes, another English team just clinched the Europa Conference League title. An underdog which no person ever thought they could reach the final of the competition eventually wins the Conference League, Europa Conference League title. This for our sport fans all over. But now back to Nigeria. There's this question I just want to ask straight up before we call it a wrap on the program. Okay. Do we still have this culture of winning mentality in our national teams compared to the likes of Olympic 96 and our first World Cup edition which we participated?
Well, I would say yes. We still have we had it. But the truth of the matter is, presently, I would say that we still need our coaches. They still need more exposures. We need to give them more exposures, just like what Ladamboso is doing of recent. At least I really commended him for the fact that at least those guys have been able to prove to some extent that, you know, if a World Cup tournament is, you know, is coming up, we still have some people we can still fall back to in the likes of those players that they took out there. But another thing is that, you know, we still need some technicalities of which our coach are lacking, because when you compare the likes of the games played by the previous set, like that of Rashidu Yekini, Amokachi, Sunday Olize, Nwanko Kano, and the rest of them, just like the Olympic 96 you mentioned, when Kano really proved himself and things like that. But we only need to expose more of our coach. Then, you know, the NFA need to be sanitized. They need to really work on the Nigerian glass house to make sure that we get the right people and put them in the right place.
All right, from that shot on sports, I need to say a goodbye. And the episode came as from the politics, from other rocking news in the country, and some other stories which you can easily get to read more from Vanguard and the Punch and the Nation, which we've talked about. From my own side, I want to encourage our viewers to always engage themselves in the world of sporting by making some exercise or doing some exercise regularly, because sport is good, or exercise is the best way to making sure all of your body nerves and languages tells you like a younger person even than your age. From my own side, I'm saying a bye-bye. Rabila Lawal is my name.
And I say it's a pleasure welcoming you once again, and to thank you for, you know, being with us for a long time through the dailies for this morning. It's my pleasure, and I remain Ige Olalekon. Keep watching BGI TV to get the best of information. Bye for now.